liberty lovers, and welcome to the Liberty Mike podcast, broadcasting from an undisclosed location in the heart of Dixie. I am Michael, and I'm here with Liberty Larry.
How's it going?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Doing better than Dick Cheney?
Yeah. Well, that is on my list of things to talk about.
Oh, is that? I didn't realize.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what to say about it because I'm not celebrating his death, but I don't have anything nice to say about him.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my thing. Like, I don't want to dance on anybody's grave, but
Yeah.
I mean, he created plenty of them, though, so I feel like it's...
Yeah. Well, I figure... I'm sorry for his family because I'm sure at least a couple of them liked him.
Yeah, a couple of them, maybe. I don't know. I mean, his daughter was a lot like him, so...
Yeah, well, one of them.
One of them. The one that we know, that I know of, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But...
Not the gay one, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He did have a gator. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Man, like the mid 2000s was a long time ago.
Yeah, his legacy has lasted, though.
I saw somebody saying the other day, which I mean, I believe it to be true, that he was one of the most like influential vice presidents that there's been.
He's probably the most influential vice president there's been. I can't think of another vice president. I mean, unless you count like Joe Biden or George H.W. Bush, who were vice presidents that became presidents.
Well, yeah. I think that what they were getting at was as vice president, and the role of vice president was, you know, as influential as he was.
Yeah. He's the root of the terror war. He's the root of the surveillance state. He is who pushed the White House counsel to find some way of justifying the torture program. He openly pushed to lie to the American people and to the UN to start the Iraq War.
Yeah.
He's
the root of a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
For this country. Yeah.
He was definitely very influential as vice president. He's a big part of the concentration of power at the executive. It's not like that wasn't happening before, but you know, and the weird thing is that like nobody's upset about that because when they're in the presidency, they have that power now. So it doesn't matter. They only complain about the other guy having that power. They don't complain about the power, which is actually something else that we're kind of jumping ahead of where I expected to be. But the whole Trump phenomenon with the left being suddenly skeptical of government and, you know, all this, it's the same kind of thing. It's like Trump is the object of their hate. Like they may have, we kind of praised the rising skepticism of government from the left during the Trump era. Yeah. We're like, oh, you know, they're seeing the dangers of government, but they're not actually.
No, of course they're not.
It's just they've made Trump the object of their hate, and there's not any real recognition that it's the corruption of these institutions that has permitted Trump to rise. Yeah. That's the problem. And on the right, it would be, we could say the same thing about Obama or Biden or whatever. Yeah. Like, oh, we've got this terrible president, you know, it's he wields all this power that he shouldn't have, but they're not actually critical of the president having the power. They're just critical of that president having the power.
Yeah. But they come at it from the angle of, well, just like with the No Kings protest, like, well, he's being a dictator. It's like, yeah, but you wouldn't have any problem with it if it was your guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but the problem actually lies in the concentration of power at the executive level.
Absolutely.
And like I said, you know, Dick Cheney's not the origin of that, but he accelerated it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was really under W's presidency that acceleration of the concentration of power at the executive really hit full steam.
Yeah.
And it's that it's that concentration of power that's allowing Trump to bomb boats without anybody's permission or authority, or justification or anything really.
Yeah.
But that didn't, that could have happened under any president. It just happened to happen under this one.
Yeah. Well, he has this is something he wants to do.
Yeah. So it's really the corruption of the institution. And that's what I try to get people to understand on both sides when I talk about these kind of things to people out in the world.
Yeah.
Your problem isn't Trump. Your problem is that this power resides in the presidency and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Or at the very least that it doesn't even reside at the level of the presidency, but the legislature isn't willing to do anything to stop it.
Yeah. And that's the real problem is Congress has some of these powers and has the ability to rein some of this in, but they'll never do it.
Yeah.
Because it takes standing up and getting behind something and supporting something.
Well, that's part of it, but the other part of it is that they want their guy to have that power when he's in office.
That's part of it. That is a factor. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're all looking at the next re-election, and to get up there and really take a stand would jeopardize the next election.
Yeah. If you take a position on anything, you might
have
be
to
called
run
to
on
account on the next election.
Or you may have to explain yourself. You know?
Well, I think that's that should be our primary goal, though, as libertarians, is to try and get people to understand that it's not the guy, it's the institution that's the problem.
Yeah.
Whoever the object of your ire is today, that guy's not actually the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the institution itself, because this is a far more powerful central government than was ever envisioned by the people that established the government of this country.
Oh, absolutely.
Far more powerful. And that's where the problem is. If the colonists had a government like ours, they would have a revolution today.
Oh, yeah. Way before it got to this point.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Way before.
Go read the Declaration of Independence. Look at their complaints about the king's government in the colonies, and you'll see that it is a far less authoritarian government than the one we have right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of sad, really. I don't know how to get people to wake up, right?
Yeah.
There's made me think of this. There's a Winston Churchill quote that seems appropriate right now, as long as I'm calling for a revolution, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me find it real quick. I've got it here somewhere. It's not that hard to find things in your notes in your phone. But
depends on how you have them organized. If they're organized like mine, good luck. That search key may be important.
Yeah, well, I go find in note. That's what I'm using to do this. Because you're right. But he said, if you will not fight for right when you can easily win without bloodshed, if you'll not fight when your victory is sure and not too costly, you may come to the moment when you will have to fight with all the odds against you and only a precarious chance of survival. You may have to fight when there is no hope of victory, because it is better to perish than to live as slaves.
Yeah. Well, and a big part of the problem is people today are just kind of content with the way things are.
Yeah. Doesn't interrupt my life too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and it's all under the guise of, I'd rather give up a little bit of freedom for security.
But you don't get either one.
But in the end, you get neither.
Yeah.
So
that was a famous Ben Franklin quote, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have that one in my notes, but it's something like for the man who would give up some liberty for security, he will receive neither.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he said he deserves and will receive neither.
Yeah, exactly.
Something along those lines. Well, that's what Mom Donnie took advantage of in the New York mayoral election.
Yeah.
He went out there after Trump won and started talking to people in the streets, those districts that shifted from Biden to Trump.
Yeah.
And was like, why did you choose to vote for Trump?
Yeah.
And the things that people were talking about is like, I can't afford my rent. I can't afford my food. I can't pay for things for my kids. I have to work 3 jobs. I got, those problems aren't going to be alleviated with Trump, unfortunately.
Or with Mondavi, or whatever his name is. I can't say.
Mamdani. Yeah, you're probably right. But at least he's
talking about it.
He's talking about it. Yeah. This Democratic Socialist did a whole video I saw recently on one of oh gosh, now I can't think of his name. Glenn Greenwald, one of Greenwald's podcasts. And I hadn't seen that video before, but it's Mamdani talking about the street food vendors.
Yeah.
And talking about to them, and now his answer is government, of course, but talking about how much they have to spend to ply their trade, really. Yeah. And, they're paying tens of thousands of dollars for licenses to go out there and do this. But they're not paying them to the city.
Yeah.
They're paying them to some guy who owns the license, who bought it from the city for $800 or something like that.
30 years ago.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that goes back to the 90s. At least with the, I say that, it goes back that far, at least. It may go back further than that.
Yeah.
With the cabs. Because I had looked
the cab medallions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, same kind of thing, apparently. And, his answer is, well, we take them away from them and have the vendors buy it from the city instead, like direct. Yeah. Which I don't know how you make that happen. What prevents somebody? You just have to make more laws.
Well, that's exactly what it is, because the city already owns those medallions. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's the same type thing. Like the city already owns them. They sold them to these people decades ago, and then they've just kept them, and they became an investment in their self.
Right.
So if government wants to fix that, government just takes them away from those people and comes up with a new form to reissue them.
Yeah.
Or something. Like I say, it's all government. Like if we had it our way, you just do away with it completely. And
you do it as a lottery every year, but that doesn't help the problem. I
think you just let street vendors be street vendors. If the market gets
take away the whole license thing entirely, if you can get out there and compete, then all the better for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the competition only drives prices down, which is what he's actually talking about.
Yeah.
He's saying these additional costs that they have to bear result in like a 25 to 30% increase in their prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, if you just took away the licensing altogether, it goes back to then, and probably lower, because then they're competing with each other too.
Yeah, because there'll be more of them in that scenario, but that's fine
at least for a time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. Like for a while,
right down to the point where they can make a living doing that.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
But that's not how he's looking at it.
Well, no, of course not, because that's not his frame of mind.
I tell you, like talking about the terror wars and so forth, I was really kind of surprised at some of the things that were said before the election, like how they were attacking Mamdani before the election.
Oh yeah.
I have a clip actually. Let's play this clip.
Any given morning, there's a crisis, and people's lives are at stake. God forbid another 9/11. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat?
I could. He'd be cheering.
It's another problem. But can you imagine that?
No. Listen.
If Mamdani was in the seat on 9/11.
Yeah.
What would have happened in the seat?
Oh, come on. Listen.
Well, like clips like that tell me why he won, why Mamdani won. Because that's just like the weakest argument you can make.
Yeah, it is. It amazes me like how hard they try to push this, like align him with the 9/11 terrorists in the course of this election. Like that's not the only thing that I saw.
Oh, I'm sure not.
There was somebody, I can't remember who, I think is a state senator maybe in New York, posted a slash
Yeah.
on X that was a picture of the towers on fire and said "Vote Cuomo" on election day. Like they're trying to draw this parallel between Mamdani and the 9/11 thing, and like, why are they making this connection?
Yeah.
There's nothing in his history to suggest any of this connection. They're only doing it because he's a Muslim.
Yeah, well, because they look at it as a way to attack him, especially with it being New York City and everything that happened during 9/11.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get the thinking, but it's just weak.
It is weak, but the real point there is that this is the party of group politics. This is one of those minorities that they're supposed to be standing up for, but they're not standing up for him. They're actually like intentionally maligning this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's a challenger to Cuomo, who's the establishment candidate.
Yeah.
That
couldn't win a primary, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
there's that.
There's that.
Did you see the clip from the Democratic primary for the mayoral election, the debate that they had, where they're asking, where would be your first foreign visit after you get elected mayor?
I did see that. Like, seriously, guys?
Yeah.
Like,
and of course, the whole panel except Mamdani says, "Wow, I would go to Israel, of course."
yeah.
Right. Now, I don't know why it's relevant.
For a mayor.
But they did that because they thought that this was going to be like a real slam
gotcha.
dunk on Mamdani.
Yeah.
But Mamdani says, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here to help the people of New York who I've been elected to help."
Right.
And he's like, "I'll talk to the New York Jews anywhere that they are, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to help New York."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what voters want to hear, right?
Right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's those kind of things that are the reason that he got elected. Also, free money, I mean...
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you
I'm going to lower your rents and lower your food costs and
and make all of these promises that he can't really keep.
Yeah.
So.
And this is one of those things. This relates to stuff we talked about last week, but his answer will, of course, be more government. I mean, this isn't a guy that's going to say, "Okay, well, we need rents to come down, so we need to eliminate all these restrictions on housing."
Yeah. Or produce more housing, or figure out how to let the market produce more housing, or the government controls so many things. There's so many ways that, especially like in a city like New York, you could remove some of the barriers to fix a problem like that.
Yeah.
Like there's free market solutions to this.
Yeah.
But you're not going to hear them from him.
Well, and the same thing with the food costs. All right, how are we going to lower the costs of foods from the food trucks?
No.
We're not going to eliminate the licensing system. We're just going to make more rules about it so that the licensees are the people that are actually driving their
trucks.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. We need to reduce healthcare costs. We're not going to eliminate the kind of programs that increase demand and push healthcare costs up. We're just going to add another layer of bureaucracy or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is one of the problems generally of government involvement in the market, of subsidies on the market. Like if you take the SNAP issue that we were talking about last week, or the Affordable Care Act, or Medicare and Medicaid, all of these kind of things, they actually increase costs in the long term. You don't have a totally elastic supply, especially in healthcare, which is why healthcare is completely out of control.
Yeah.
But for the food market, the supply is somewhat elastic. I mean, they can increase production by degrees.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it can't meet the kind of demand if you're putting $100 billion into food every year. $100 billion of government money. Like another example is, of course, the college loan thing.
Yeah.
The issue here is that if the government takes taxpayer money, takes our money, and gives it to a subset of us to buy a particular thing, then that increases demand for that particular thing, which pushes the price up. The idea in a market is that if there's a higher demand for a thing, then more people want to get into the industry and supply that demand.
Produce the thing,
And so the supply increases and you find an equilibrium. The problem with these government programs is the equilibrium always ends up with the price higher than it was before because the demand is pushed up farther than the supply can answer, at least initially. And in things like healthcare particularly, it'll never equal the supply can never equal the demand because there are other organizations that are intentionally keeping the supply low. There's all these physicians groups that lobby to prevent nurses from doing a bunch of procedures that they're perfectly capable of doing. The AMA restricting the number of medical licenses that are given out every year, that they aren't even increasing them with population increases. This is a pretty inelastic supply because of other factors that the government is again involved in. Now, I blame the AMA, of course. I say the AMA is doing this, but they can only prevent these extra licenses from being given out or extra duties being handed down to lower licensures through the state. So it still requires the state involvement. Now, every industry has an interest in preventing excess competition because that lowers the price. So every business has an interest in restricting the supply to some degree so that they can keep their profits up.
I mean, if I'm selling cars, I don't want another car place to open up in town. Like, that's direct competition for me.
Exactly.
So if I can lobby government to keep them out, then that's going to help my business.
But some things, apparently, it's been decided by government. They've been convinced are so important that they need to step in and restrict the supply to
which, of all things, healthcare is crazy. Like, who thinks we need less hospitals?
Well, the argument that they make is that they limit supply to maintain the quality.
All right.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. All right.
It's ineffective. And it's just pushed prices up like through the roof. And so Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act. Now, the Affordable Care Act is more about insurance itself than health care. So we can take them separately. Medicare and Medicaid pushed a bunch of money into healthcare services that wouldn't otherwise have been there. And so and in fact, when they were first proposing Medicare and Medicaid, the doctors or the physicians' professional groups were lobbying against it. They were terrified of what it would do to their revenues. Ever since then, though, they've been lobbying for more and more of it because it pushed their revenues up.
Well, because they realized.
With the Affordable Care Act, I can't remember what the numbers were. It was like 15 million or 15%. I can't remember which, but one of these, it was like, we're going to go with 15 million. So we've got 15 million people that don't have health insurance, and we need them to have health insurance. Now, some percentage of those 15 million didn't have health insurance because they didn't want it. But I will grant the majority of people that didn't have health insurance couldn't afford it. So the government steps in and buys health insurance for this group of people, which pushes demand for services up. They also, of course, the government didn't just supply healthcare to a bunch of people. It also set a whole bunch of requirements that healthcare had to cover. So all these services were in much higher demand than they were before. And you can make the argument like, oh, well, these are services that people needed and they couldn't get before, but now they could. But that's mostly not true. I mean, it's true to some degree. I'm sure, like there are services that people require. But the truth is, if they got checked, they weren't turned away anyway, for the most part.
Well, yeah.
I mean, doctors do most of them get into the field not just for money, but because they want to help people.
Yeah.
They see people that need help but can't afford it. They find ways to make it work.
Yeah.
You find grants for research. You find, like there's a bunch of ways to make it work, or you just offer the services pro bono.
Yeah.
Which also happened.
Yeah.
I don't think so much anymore.
No.
But
no, because you can force the government to pay for it.
Well, yeah. But the things that are really pushing healthcare costs up are like little routine things that probably don't need to be done.
Yeah.
That people can do fine without, at least for a time. And but there's so much higher demand on the time of physicians.
Yeah.
That the prices have gone through the roof. And the Affordable Care Act itself, it may have supplied insurance to a bunch of people that didn't have insurance before, but it drove the insurance costs of everybody else, the other 85% or 300 million people,
Yeah.
through the roof. My insurance costs are 3 times what they were before the Affordable Care Act.
Oh yeah, I looked. So it's that time
And
of
my
year.
business takes half of it, so it's 6 times more.
That's what I was fixing to say. So it's that time of year, and I just set mine up, and I don't even want to look at what I pay a week for it. Like it's just astronomical.
Yeah.
Like, and just like you, I mean, I have the employer pays a large portion of it, so I'm just looking at what I pay,
Right.
and it's crazy. I mean, it almost doesn't even make sense to have it.
The easiest example, of course, though, is always and always will be probably the college loan issue.
Yeah.
Because when the government stepped in and started guaranteeing all these loans, well, the colleges knew they would get the money no matter what.
Yeah.
And loans were given to students that had less of a chance of success than were when private companies had to worry about whether they were going to recoup their loan.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And they're at the same time, they're pushing everybody needs to go to college. You won't have you can't afford your life if you don't go to college.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It hasn't been in my lived experience, but
Right.
just saying, I'm doing just fine. No college.
Yeah.
Or very little. I definitely didn't graduate.
Yeah. I mean, we're roughly equivalent in terms of income. And I have a college degree and you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it hadn't really made a difference in this case.
Yeah. And I don't have all that debt hanging over my head.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I don't
you
either.
don't either, but I'm just saying a lot of folks do though.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I didn't take any loans for college. My parents had I was lucky enough that my parents had put money away forever.
Yeah.
Although I did have to work through college for a part of that time, but
Well, yeah.
that's a pretty common experience. That's not.
Yeah, that's not. That's
anyway.
usually how it works.
Yeah. The point is that if the government starts guaranteeing all this money, then a bunch of people get money that wouldn't have otherwise. And then if the government says we will pay up to this much for a credit hour, then there's no college that will charge any less than that number for a credit hour.
Why would you? It would make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just leaving money on the table. And college costs have gone up like 4 times or 6 times, I think.
Oh, man.
I wonder if it's 6 times, just like my healthcare insurance costs.
Maybe. I don't know, but I saw a graph over the wall back, and it's just like stupid where it is versus the 80s to now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you just start from there, like, and you can track it. It's the more the government got involved, the more it goes up.
Yeah.
Like,
You used to be able to pay for a full load at a state college, and if you're an in-state resident, with a part-time job.
yeah.
Like,
work
easily.
work your way through college.
Yeah.
Like that's what you
It
used to say.
cannot be done anymore.
No. You have to take the loans. I mean, you're forced into a scenario where if you want to go to school, you have to take the loans to do it. And just know that you're going to have that hanging over your head when you get out.
Yeah. And of course, that's something that you can't declare bankrupt.
You can't wipe it away. I mean, the only way to get rid of it is to pay it. So good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that means to go to school for something that's going to be worth it.
So yeah, that's the effect of government subsidies on the market. It distorts the market. It increases supply without a corresponding increase in demand, and it can create a feedback loop where it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. Well, that's where you have to step in and take over the means of production.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's where it ends up if it gets out of hand, right? Like, so if you look at food particularly, like this is a good example with food. If you subsidize the market and increases the price, and you're subsidizing the market for people that are on the margins, you just make more people on the margins by pushing up the price, which means you have to cover more people.
Yeah.
And push up the price more.
Push up the price more, yeah.
And cover more people and push up the price more. And cover more people and push up the price more.
Yeah.
Until you have to just... and at the same time, they're providing subsidies on the other side to produce more.
Yeah. So it's feeding from both ends.
Yeah. So at some point, you got a market which is being... the attempt is being made, is what I should say, for the government to control it by subsidizing both the supply side and the demand side. That's only a step short of just taking over the production of it entirely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point you just have to, because you got to remember, the government has no money. It's all taxpayer money. Right. So, like, you got to figure where's the government drawing from to fund both ends of this aspect. Mm-hmm. Like, it's well, and you can calculate that in too. So, like, now your tax rates go up. That puts more people on the margins too. Yeah. It's an out of control system. It's just a house of cards. Like, I mean, it's never gonna work. And some will tell you, well, yes, okay, it's a delicate balance. You have to be careful that you don't, overdo it on one side or the other. But the problem is, it's Hayek's issue, right? Once you start trying to find that balance, the market knows how to find that balance. You don't, and I don't care who you are. Well, that's Hayek's problem, right? Is that there's no person that knows enough, that has enough knowledge to control the market as it is. Yeah, that can know where everything's, and to know the future of it is that much harder. Even. Yeah, exactly. So, no one person has enough knowledge. And I don't care how developed AI gets, it won't be able to do it either. No, not that. Yeah. You just can't know what all these individual choices are going to add up to. Man, you just brought up something that is scary, though, because there are definitely people in government who think that that's going to be the answer. Yeah. Well, this is how we fix socialism. We just let AI do it. Yeah. Well, send them a copy of iRobot. Yeah, right. Oh, man. Not the movie, the book, right? The book is better, but in this case, I mean the movie. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't expect them to read and understand the book. Okay. Talking about AI? You wanted to talk about Tucker. Oh, yeah. Just a little bit. Like I say, so I listened to Fuentes on his show last week, I guess. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. I know nothing about Nick. This is Nick Fuentes. He's not somebody that's ever really just been on my radar. So it was interesting to listen to him on Tucker, because Tucker and him, Tucker basically started him from the beginning of his career and just kind of worked through the timeline of, where he was at different points, starting from basically college. Mm-hmm. And it was just interesting for one to kind of hear where Fuentes started, because he was a libertarian, like Ron Paul libertarian to begin with. Yeah. I feel like he's abandoned most of those principles at this point. And somewhere along the way, he got into Trump and the whole 9 yards. But really, though, what's interesting to me is the response that the other side has had to Tucker, that just the whole effort to cancel Tucker is just baffling to me, because for one, it's not going to work. He's not going anywhere. He's bigger now than he's ever been, as best I can tell. He's proved himself to be uncancelable, I think. Yeah, but to listen to the effort, least at this stage in his career. Yeah, I mean, to listen to the more mainstream Fox News and Newsmax and some of those stations, just listening to pieces on them. I was watching them the other night, and I swear they must have had 6 reverends on, just disputing everything that Tucker had said, as far as with Israel and this, that, and the other thing. It's like what? Just saying, because Tucker's thing is, well, it's not, because Fuentes is anti-Jew. He's like, the Jews are the root of all evil or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Tucker's like, no, well, the state of Israel and the Jews are two different things.
Right.
And so yeah, that's where Tucker's at with it. But a lot of these reverends are like, no. Like, Israel is the Jews, and if you're speaking against Israel, you're speaking against the Jews, and you can't do that as a Christian.
You know, what's funny about that, like, as you say that, it reminded me again of that moment in the mayoral debate when they asked about where you were going next. Well, then they tried to press Mamdani about it and asked him, does he believe that Israel has a right to exist or something? And he said, I believe Israel has a right to exist as a state of equal rights.
Yeah.
And Cuomo says, that's not a Jewish state.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is the point. I don't know, just the whole effort to, especially like with Fuentes, because I'm not where Fuentes is. Like, I'm not like the Jews are the root of all evil and causing all the world's problems and this, that, and the other thing. And that's absolutely Fuentes toned it down for Tucker, but that's pretty well traditionally at least where he's at.
Yeah.
And I just, the whole idea that you can't say anything cross against Israel is the state of Israel is a problem. And there's
but you're saying that, like, these guys that have been coming on whatever channels, these priests, I guess, are saying that it is a tenet of Christian religious faith that you support the Jews or the state of Israel.
The state of Israel. That's how
that it does.
That's what they would say is that, or they've been saying, and I mean, I'm a Christian. I don't believe that. Like, that's just not. They're two separate things in my mind.
Okay. All right. Just so that I make sure that I'm clear on this. So they're saying that it is a tenet of Christian religious faith that you support the state of Israel in everything that it chooses to do. Yeah.
We're not allowed to question that. The state of Israel.
Okay.
Like, that's the argument they're making.
I don't even know how are they justifying that? Biblically or whatever. Like, what passages are they looking at in the Bible to justify that position?
I can't quote them. I don't know.
Okay.
But they quote them. Like, I mean, they have ones that they point to that these are, this is what it says here. But I mean, maybe I should have done a better job and grab some of that, because
I'm interested now in how you justify incredibly unchristian acts just by saying, well, it's the Israeli state, so they can do whatever. Like, they're above reproach in the eyes of God. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, not so much in the eyes of God, but in the eyes of us, I think, is more what the argument is that they'll be judged by God in their time, and we're not to judge them or whatever. I mean, I just can't accept that. That's where I'm at. Because it goes back to collective punishment, because that's what Israel is doing to the Palestinians.
Yeah.
It's absolute. I mean, there's no way around that. And there's all kinds of stuff in the Bible about
not visiting the sins of the father on the son.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, those are the passages that I'm pulling from for my faith.
So I was reading, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of, like, I've read a couple of things about suicide recently, so I'm trying to think of who, it must have been David Hume. I think it was David Hume. Anyway, he has an essay on suicide from a Christian perspective. Okay. And, like, whether it's permissible. Or not. And I'm
guessing that it's not.
Actually, he says that it is.
Really?
The case that he makes is that, traditionally it had been looked at in England or in Europe, I guess, because it was kind of a new concept, this idea that it's an offense against God to take your own life.
Yeah.
And the justification for that position was that, well, I guess that I just stated it really, that you're going against God's plan by taking your own life. That life doesn't belong to you, it belongs to him, and you're breaking God's plan by taking your own life.
Yeah.
And he's saying, if you believe in an omnipotent, omniscient God, and a merciful God, that this is a position that doesn't make any sense. Because first off, it's pretty hubristic to believe that any man can break God's plan or can go against God's plan.
He gave us free will.
Right. And then the other part of that being that if somebody is in a bad state in life and looks at nothing but misery for their future, then do you think that God would want them to suffer that misery with no outlet? And
that argument's a little tougher for me to swallow, just because, God gives everybody trial and tribulation.
Sure.
That's the whole idea, and so, sure, some have it a lot worse than others, but I still don't think that's a justification for suicide, though.
Well, it may not be a justification, but the question is whether it's an offense against God or not.
I just feel like it is, coming from that perspective.
Well, but the other side of it still applies, in that if you did it, if you succeeded, it was part of God's plan. You cannot refute God's plan.
I do agree with that too.
So anyone who succeeds in suicide, that was just part of God's plan for them anyway.
Yeah. Well.
But it sounds like kind of that's the argument that's being applied here to the state of Israel.
Yeah.
Or maybe, actually, I guess it's more appropriate to do the Nixon's thing. If the president does it, it's not illegal.
Oh, yeah. Well.
That sounds more like the argument that they're making. That if the Israeli state does it, then it's what God wants them to do anyway.
Yeah.
It fits into God's morality.
Yeah.
And we're not here to question it or something. I don't know. That's just, I would like to hear how they're justifying that, because that seems like a hard argument to try and defend under any pressure.
Yeah. I agree. And it just, I don't know. More and more people are realizing what the state of Israel is doing and are not okay with it. It's a losing battle, I think, for them either way.
Yeah.
You can only justify what's been done so far,
You can only justify it as long as nobody knows what it is.
Well, yeah.
In this case.
Yeah. Right after October 7th, they had some rope to try to I don't even know what the right word is, but
they had an opportunity to make a case that they are just trying to defend themselves from future attacks.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's just, the whole thing is so lopsided anyway. One side holds all the power here.
Yeah.
I get that they were attacked on October 7th and that was horrible, but that doesn't justify everything that's came after that.
Mm-hmm. It's harder when you step back and take a holistic look at it and try and define who are the oppressed and who are the oppressors here.
Yeah.
Who are the people that are actually being mistreated in this dynamic?
Yeah.
There's violence on both sides. That's,
well, I guess that is a good way that's a smart way to look at it. Is there is violence on both sides, but putting the violence aside, who has who holds the keys here? Who has the power? And we know it's Israel. Like there's no question that it's Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of way of looking at the world is why the left has been better on this until pretty recently, and probably still are actually better on the issue of Israel-Palestine than the right has been.
Yeah.
Is because the left is kind of taught to look for those power relationships in a Marxist type of sense,
Yeah.
Whereas the right doesn't look at things in that way.
Yeah. Well, and the right is a lot more religious. And as I've seen this past week, like the religious side has a dog in this hunt, from what I can tell. I don't know, they shouldn't. It doesn't make sense to me, but...
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. It's because you need Israel to control all the Holy Land and rebuild the temple so that Jesus can return and bring about the end times.
Yeah. Well, that's they're taking that serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would expect them to take it seriously. This is again like another one of those moments of hubris, though. To me, is like the idea that you can like take control of it and try and force God's hand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because all of this is going to happen in his time either way.
Yeah.
You know, it's
there's nothing you can do to accelerate it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh well. I only have one more thing, and I don't even know if we want to address it. We're 45 minutes in, and I haven't been feeling well, so
yeah.
And it's something that I think that we can talk about some other time. So I say we put it off.
Yeah. Well, that's all good with me.
Okay.
The only other, I mean, just as far as the elections this past week, there's been a lot of talk that the Democrats won, and it's this big thing for like the Democrat takeover and this, that, and the other. And while it was really bad for Republicans, I mean, they had a bad night. It's still mostly blue states just staying blue.
Yeah.
Best I can tell looking at it. I mean, there's definitely some races that the Republicans should have been more competitive in, but overall, I mean, I just don't think that this is the blue wave that's being made out to be. But it should be a lesson to Republicans that they do need to get their house in order, because, you know, the midterms terms are coming up, and it's, I don't know. I don't want to see a blue wave then. So, what's up?
Okay, I was just looking to see that Attorney General race in Virginia, so Jay Jones, the Democrat who said that he wants the children of the opposition to suffer and all that stuff, won.
Oh, well, great. Yeah. I mean, like I say, the Democrat. I'm not trying to say the Democrats didn't have a good night, but I think that it's definitely overblown. But going back to the whole Tucker thing, like the Republican Party is fractured right now between the neocons and the anti-war side. And like Trump is somewhere in the middle of all of that. Like I don't really, it's interesting where he is versus those two sides, you know? So I don't know, but he's got to find a way to bring that. I mean, that coalition put him in the White House of the neocons and the, you know, anti-war groups. That
does remind me of something positive I can say about Dick Cheney.
Oh yeah, what's that?
He really wasn't partisan. He would switch sides in a moment if the other side was the pro-war party.
Yeah. Well.
So, I mean,
give it to him for not being the partisan.
Yeah, he had his issue, and you know, whichever party was on the side that he supported on that issue, that's who he voted for. I kind of wish more people were like that. I just wish that wasn't the issue.
Yeah, right. I wish they were on the right side of that issue, right? Well, that is fair.
Gosh, the only way that we can fix any of this is to elect a bunch of libertarians to tear down these authority systems.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to take. You've got to start like, and not like in the way Republicans always talk about reducing government. Like you actually have to do it. You know, because I mean, they all talk a big game during the campaign of, you know, eliminating departments. Oh yeah, what Trump wasn't he talking about getting rid of departments and stuff like that? Stuff's never going to happen. And you knew coming from Trump, it probably wouldn't. But like, it takes somebody that's actually serious about doing some of that.
Well, I'm kind of interested to see what Mamdani does, because my expectation actually is, now that he has won the mayoral race, that he'll just be a typical
Democrat.
Yeah.
Which is bad enough for the city anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like it's...
I don't think... I mean, how much has, like, AOC and Ilhan Omar and all the squad actually done to push the progressive agenda in Congress?
Well, and the problem Dom
Bernie Sanders has been more effective than any of them, or all of them together, probably.
Well, he has, in some respects, I guess.
But even in the same time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, as a mayor, there's only so much he can do because there's only so much money there.
Yeah.
He's limited by and people are going to start fleeing New York, the people who can afford to.
Yeah.
So,
that'll open up some housing.
Yeah, well, maybe. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And I'm with you. I'll be interested to see how he governs.
Yeah, I'll honestly be a little disappointed if he just becomes a normal Democrat. And we have to watch it closely because the right-leaning press and maybe the centrist left-leaning press will make him out to be some kind of terror.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, regardless of what he does.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Yeah,
he'll be the boogeyman no matter what.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to actually watch closely to see if he is the boogeyman or just the one that they're creating.
Well, the proof will be in the pudding, though. If New York becomes a better city through his term, then, there won't be much denying it, I don't see that happening.
And then we can all go socialist.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking earlier today, and this is a thought that I've had off and on through my life, or my adult life anyway, is the, I don't know, you can call it the Miyagi effect maybe or something.
Yeah.
The idea that you kind of have to, a hybrid economic system or a mixed economic system or whatever they call it, where you incorporate some socialist stuff into a capitalist market economy, doesn't work. That you kind of have to pick a side. Walk on right side, safe. Walk on left side, safe. Walk in middle, squished like grape. That's
an interesting way to think about it because it is. Most of these countries now have some kind of mixture economy. We're absolutely one with socialism mixed in with capitalism.
Yeah.
But even China is starting to open up its markets some.
Oh, no, it hasn't started to open up its markets.
Well,
its markets have been open for a long time.
Yeah.
It liberalized its markets a long time ago.
Yeah.
The introduction of market capitalism and entrepreneurship and so forth in China has resulted in the lifting of tens of millions of people out of poverty.
Oh, absolutely. So, like I say, but all over the world, this is kind of the case. Is you've got these kind of like mixed economic styles or whatever you want to call it.
Systems.
Systems. That's probably the better word. Yeah.
I don't know that that's true. But it's a thought that's occurred to me a number of times because there is a lot of tension between the socialist and a socialist economy and a market economy.
Yeah.
I say the danger is just moving off of the right side of the road because once you start to move off the right side of the road, you end up on the left side no matter what. It always becomes more and more and more socialistic.
Yeah.
I guess China maybe is a counterexample to that, but they have...
But they're still very authoritarian.
Yeah, they've become more authoritarian in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To try and keep... Because the economic, political, and social freedom are all connected to each other.
Yeah.
And when you liberalize one, it puts pressure on the others to become more liberal as well. Yeah. And China definitely doesn't want that.
Well,
they'll liberalize the economy because they want more revenues flowing in, but they don't want political and social freedom there, so they've had to lock down in other ways.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Well, that's all I've got. I wanted to at least talk a little bit about the election there.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that this guy who seems to have the most terrible character got elected as Attorney General.
Yeah, there was some. Yeah, it's not good.
I don't know anything about the Republicans, so I can't say that I was for him. But Jay Jones just seems like a real terrible person.
Yeah,
he got hate in his heart. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap up, and we'll be back next week. In the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean. Like and share, comment, subscribe. You can always email me at michael@thelibertymike.com. Our website is thelibertymike.com, where you can find everything that we've done. Is that all the things?
I feel like that's
all the things. It feels like that's all the things. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back next week when we finally get this right. And in the meantime, try to stay free.
Life's short, live free.
Ciao.
Later.